The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host, who likes to come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So as we start the show, up 19 points, a reversal day in the making. I actually was rather kind of a little bearish this morning and looking for some kind of blow-off top. Instead, we got everybody and their dog and their sister's dog and their dog's sister's dog, if that makes any sense, to go after the market this morning and start shorting. I had to do a 180 and go buy stuff. They made me buy it, and they made me buy it by going extremely beyond the pale short. I was watching Apple for a while. It was having over 50% of all shares for about 15 minutes that were short. This is a company with $280 billion, and they're shorting it. There were other stocks like that, some as high as 75% of the shares over an hour were being shorted. They were driving that market down. Now, the question is that sustainable? And the answer is no. Real stock market, they sell a little bit, market kind of firms up, they sell a little bit more. If you're selling that hard, you either know that there's a giant bomb about ready to go off tomorrow or maybe in the afternoon if you're in the stock market. But if everybody knows that, they're not shorting. They're selling. They've got lots of stock. You're not going to see 70%, 75% short sells for an hour in the stock market. That is behavior only by the retail client. Those folks all tend to do the wrong thing and do it the most at the wrong time. They tend to short it when the market's going higher. They tend to not buy when the market's at lows. So seeing behavior that I thought was, you could make a case for lower prices coming in this morning. I made a case for poor judgment. I do like that saying that Carl Icahn has. Some people use artificial intelligence to find trades. I just look for natural stupidity. And I think it's not so much a stupidity. It's just everybody thinks that they know it, and they all think the same way. The market almost always goes the opposite way, and that's called contrarian trading. Some people call me the CCC, the contrarian candidate, or was something else. What was it? I can't remember now. But anyway, we're up 20 points on the S&P cash. We're going to probably close fairly decently on a lot of these stocks. I do like the saying that Steve Rhodes has, which is there's nothing more bullish than a failed bear move. And we certainly had that this morning, too. So is the end over? Am I ever not nervous? And the answer is no. Every time I have a trade on, I know that the thing can go against me. Every time I start believing I have more than a 51% chance of the trade going my way, I know that overconfidence can sneak in. They say the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. I suspect the exact same is for making money, and that is to always think that you could possibly be wrong. Some of the other things that I love is one of the traders in the den, especially John from Philadelphia, is common to say I may be wrong, and I commonly am. You're going to be wrong a lot if you trade long enough. Everybody thinks you're just going to pick winners out of the exhaust port continuously. There's only one person I know that was always winning. And that was Mr. Madoff. And that's because he wasn't playing the game. He was just making it all up. So as we see that happen, overconfidence, everything else, but literally when everybody has one thought in the market or one idea, I'm almost always the first to say, what's the opposite side of this argument? Every good argument has a counter argument. If you can't find a counter argument of any kind, it's time to pause and reflect. If you're absolutely sure, that's generally when I lose the most amount of money. When I'm always nervous, when I pay for it in my grief and sweat and tears, and just the thought of being wrong is somewhat problematic and weighs on you. But generally, the more I think I'm wrong or could be wrong, generally the trades work out on my favor. So just a word for being a contrarian, for waiting for everybody to tell you one thing and know it is untrue. And then think about things that, I always think about, probably once a week, think about the passage of in Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. In there, Jesse Livermore is talking to a bunch of people that are all telling him how the market should work. And, of course, they don't know who he is. They don't know he's really probably when he wasn't on a bender because of his mental condition. Both his parents and his brother killed themselves, suicide. One of his sons killed himself from suicide, but it just ran in the family to mental illness. He was manic depressive. If there would have been lithium, the guy would have owned the world. They could have just leveled him out a little bit. But he always had this story that he would tell about people coming in here and not knowing who he was and telling him how the market worked. He would always tell them this story, and that is there was two gentlemen going out for a duel. Of course, remember, this is like 1910. So duels weren't that far in the rearview mirror back then. He says two guys are going out for a duel, and he asks the guy that is going to help him. I guess in a duel, you got the two guys shooting at each other, and then, of course, they bring two of their, I guess, like the best man, right? He has to make sure that they haul the body off if he gets it. Anyway, he says he can snap a wine glass at 20 paces. And so Jesse Livermore says something like, "Well, that's great. How well is he doing when that wine glass has got a gun pointed, loaded gun pointing at his heart?" And that is the difference. We all have to pull the trigger, and unfortunately, there are people firing back at us, and a lot of times it's me. I'm firing back at the crowds who all think that they're right, and generally, the majority of the crowd is generally wrong in the market. It takes the most amount of money as quickly as it can from the most amount of people. We'll be back in a minute.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Oh, hidden gems out here today. Okay, let's go back and check into the markets already in progress over most of TFNN and its stations. Up 24 points on the S&P cash. Dow's up 322. Even the lowly NASDAQ dragging itself out of the mud. Down, down 201 point, up 15 points. You can't keep a good market down. You can keep a market, though, juggling some balls as you get market and sector rotation, which is really what is started yesterday. We talked about it for a while. This morning, it was the airlines that popped. We'll have some other things that pop. Of course, earnings after the bell tonight, a little bit, and tomorrow night, and Friday, a little bit, probably a fun buying, and then we go into Monday where we probably have a couple more days of fun buying. My guess is we are going to have at least some level of a short squeeze on these stocks that people are literally nuts and being short those stocks when they've got that much short positions. We are going to see probably tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, the bi-monthly short data coming out from the market, the NASDAQ and the NYSE. They do that twice a month. The other data that I talk about a lot is from FINRA, and that comes out every night, I think about 8 o'clock. So you don't see it right off the bat. I can watch the tape and get kind of a good sense of it. And that's kind of how a lot of the stuff, but even if you just look at the level 2, you'll see all the stocks or the sales stamped with short sales on it. You know that people are chasing the stocks down as they did today. Generally a bad indication of people chasing stocks. One of the reasons why I neither chase them up or chase them down when they're short. Give me a call, 877-927-6648. That's 877-927-6648. You can always email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can always put a message in the den. We've got some out here, I think, already. Okay. Okay, everybody is a comedian, but we shall see. Yes, I am going to do that. We can generally see the launch of space vehicles here in Tampa, all the way on the other side of the state. Generally a lot of states are, mountainous, everything else you can't see much. But if it's a clear day, may be able to, it's starting to clear off. We may be able to see it. Always interesting because, of course, it goes up and then you get about a minute and then you see the jets where they try to land the booster. But, yeah, I think that's about 4:30 today Eastern time. They're going to take off. Very spiffy suits. I got to say that Musk did at least clean up the image, kind of real 2001-ish. I guess they were kind of more rubbery in that movie, but still not as bulky. Of course, they're not having to go out and do any spacewalks in those. At least we hope they don't have to. Anyway, like I said, give me a call, 877-927-6648. And yes, we've got history. Just hold on.
Then it's all just a little bit of history repeating.
On this day, the British Navy sinks the German battleship Bismarck in the North Atlantic near France. The German death toll was more than 2,000. Only a couple hundred people actually survived it. The ship was sighted and crippled by British aircraft. And on May 27th, 3 British warships descended on the Bismarck, inflicting heavy damage. By mid-morning, the pride of the German Navy had become a floating wreck with numerous fires aboard, unable to steer, and her guns almost useless because she was listing badly to port. They scuttled her. And, of course, the arguments ran on for years whether the British actually sank it or the German Navy scuttled it so they couldn't drag it back as a big show prize. Of course, that really was the end of, or the beginning of the end of big naval ships owning the ocean, even with World War I biplanes. The smaller carriers of England were able to at least slow it down to where it could be sunk. There was only one ship bigger than that, or actually 2 more ships bigger than the Bismarck ever built. They were both built in almost the same plans in Japan. And, of course, both of those lasted through their first engagement before they were sunk. So, the big battleship days, pretty much over. But I do digress. Okay, let's start looking at some charts out here. Got questions about what do I see as far as short sales in AAPL. Yesterday, you had 27% shorts on the day, 29% before that, 28%. It is, let's put Apple up here so you know what we're talking about. You got volume. It isn't particularly bullish, but it's not bearish. That is the problem I see here. 326.34. You got another $2. I'd say dollars to donuts. If there was any stock that was going to at least retest its high before going lower, it will be Apple. That high is from February 12th with 28 million shares. You pushed into it yesterday with 32 million shares. You're at least going to get to 324 again, probably. You got a little doji out here today, but pretty large shorting for a company that, one, is not going bankrupt tomorrow, and two, has $280 billion that they can pay out for a long time and support their stock with. Other stocks, Microsoft, not so much. Not exactly sure why everybody thinks Apple's going to hell in a handbasket, but Microsoft isn't. It did gap down today. You got a little bit of a hammer candle. Again, if you think this thing's probably going lower, my guess would be after fund buying next week. You did kind of come down, but you're recovering most of it out here. But again, these FANG stocks are the ones that they were selling yesterday. They're still selling them today a little bit. My guess is that they'll probably basically a little bit off the top. Netflix is the next one. 25% shorts on Friday. 23% yesterday. Little hammer on it also. Again, probably going to go sideways for a while before you see any kind of big moves in these. I don't see a lot happening to the downside until after fund buying. So maybe we go a week from today.
If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And let's see what we have here in the email basket. Question about Alibaba. That seems to have come up a lot lately. Thing had a pretty wicked downside today. Still lower. Got to 196.75. If it broke 201, it certainly looked like it's going to, or was going to come back and retest this 189.53. And, you know, got a little bit of it back, and you got kind of some light volume going into this candle of the 14th with 20 million shares. My guess is that you are going to get that 189.53. Why we don't have a great unemployment situation. They got about an extra 200 million in China that are out of work, and those are the people that were really buying a lot of stuff over there in China from Alibaba. They're going to where our what is it? I'll think of it in a second. Where our big version of Alibaba, i.e. Amazon, was making a land office business, those folks over there turned the spigots off. They weren't buying anything. Of course, there was no big, huge check coming for unemployment on steroids for those guys. They were just out of business. So they're probably catching up to some extent. But where we have, 20 or something, maybe a little more, they've got 10 times that. And those were the people, or a lot of the people that were actually customers of Alibaba, because they could go anywhere to any of the assembly buildings for all the other stuff like Foxconn, that kind of stuff, and still get their packages and whatever they wanted to buy. I see it much weaker than Amazon, and they still have a lot of problems. So I wouldn't get too bent out of shape trying to go along this thing. I'd much rather wait and see if it tests this 189.53, and at that point, I think with lighter volume you might have a low, but I think everybody looks at China as the giant monster, and we can't do anything about it. They're just going to beat us all up. I've never had that kind of defeatist attitude about America. And I'll have to get Mr. Pitts from the radio to tell you all about America. Anyway, other things going on out here that I wanted to talk about. Workday, nice rotation on it. Earnings coming up on it, I believe, this week. I didn't look too much. You're just hanging out here. I don't think that there's a lot. You did go down today, but I think it's hanging out for news. Another one that did come off extremely hard today, and this is some of the stocks that were ludicrously long. Let me put it this way. We made some money on it a couple of times. I always knew that it was a hand grenade with a pin out. You want to get in and out of it. Today's shows you the rotation out here on the break on the stock. You did close below the 3x3 yesterday. Still a great company, and I suspect one that will be in high demand. I would love for this thing to come back at $80 and base out for a while. Of course, they're basically the cloud solution for how much taxes and tariffs do I pay. If you want to know, basically that. They are the people out there putting all the stuff together in whatever hamlet you live in around the world, telling you, oh, that's how much I need to charge. This is how I need to do the paperwork to get it there. And it just, a very easy way for big companies to sell stuff on the web and know what they have to pay. And, basically Avalara does all the software, and you just kind of log into their system and handle it. So well, certainly somebody in the den's talking about not having enough content. Well, certainly Amazon did have, I guess we can look at them for a minute. Amazon and Netflix both had a lot more in the hopper. So there were a lot of things going along. But if they didn't finish it, it's not allowed to be finished if it was being edited in Hollywood. They were chasing people out of any building You can't. It doesn't matter if you were a single guy in a 12,000 square foot building. You can't go in there. That was the draconian edict from the governor of California. We're not going to let anything move. We're not going to let anybody make a dime. And I think there was some discussion of building kind of a Hollywood down in and around Miami. I'm not exactly sure if that doesn't get a little bit more traction these days, mostly because they could not only sell the studio time to the U.S. movie-making bunch, but all of Latin America, and it'd be a lot closer for people in sub-Saharan Africa. I always like saying that, and maybe even Europe. And of course, weather pretty good over there by Miami, if not a little bit hot. Probably be a lot more popular in the winter, my guess. But that's it. They do have stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that they had in the hopper that they won't be able to get out the door. Both of their, both Amazon and Netflix offices and editing studios and everything are in, I think, in Culver City, which a lot of other stuff, post-production work, was always done over there to some level. But they made sure nobody got out of the house or did anything, so there is nothing moving along. We're 10 weeks in since the last time anybody worked on anything in Hollywood. Outside of Hollywood, probably a lot of stuff still going on. And I'm not exactly sure that maybe some of those folks didn't grab all their equipment and tools and tape, although it's not on tape anymore, and head off to somewhere else where they could work. But you never know. Question about FireEye, F-E-Y-E. The security company just kind of coming back up here to resistance levels. Looks like to me that it wants to come back and test $12.44 one more time. A lot of these stocks out here that have been rumored to be buyout candidates. The one thing I've been waiting for is that Monday where we really start seeing M&A action again. To that point, these things, even though they're buyout candidates, who's got the cash? When is it going to be released? And we haven't seen that buyout Monday yet. When we do, I think the market jumps another 50 or 100 points on the S&P cash. Because guess what? People short these stocks will have to watch out if they don't stand on a landmine. We'll be back in a minute.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction Shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And as we come back and check out, can you look at HPQ earnings today, and can you tell me how to get the FINRA data? I sent you the link for it. There are a bunch of files there. You really just need the ones from the big ones from NASDAQ and the NYSE. But you'll have to put those together because stocks are traded just about everywhere these days, and you're never sure exactly where they're going to be reported. And you may want to do a little bit more on investigating what all those data files are and what they mean. HPQ, coming back down a little bit. These guys are enterprise to enterprise. They don't have a big web presence. I don't know if there's a lot of downside to these guys, but at the same time, I don't see a lot of upside to them either. And I don't know. I think kind of dead money here. Maybe they'll surprise. Generally, a lot of these companies are making their numbers, surprisingly enough, because they tended to go to these companies and talk to them and sell stuff. In the short term, these companies bought a lot of stuff, but at the same time, they weren't sending anybody on airlines. They weren't getting rental cars or paying for hotels. All that stuff's fairly expensive. So a lot of these companies are going to be able to make this quarter only on the fact that they didn't spend anything on transportation, trade shows, or sending anybody anywhere, and pretty much no marketing. So I wouldn't be probably short this company, but at the same time, maybe short it next time. I'm not a big fan of shorting stocks below $30, but this doesn't look like the best and sharpest knife in the drawer. And yes, Workday is reporting this afternoon. Okay. What else do we have? We've got a few more here. See if there's anything else here. Yes. What do we have here? About an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes. T-minus an hour and 45 minutes, whatever it is. Interesting. Okay. Check into the market already. Still up 20 points on the S&P cash, up 305 points on the Dow. NASDAQ's basically flat on the day. So not a whole lot new. Just everybody way too short these stocks. Again, probably the best time to short a stock is when everybody gives up on shorting it. That's generally where you have two things happen. One, there aren't a lot of people short, so the stock, if it does go down, goes down a lot quicker and faster and farther, because you don't have all those other pesky people on your side taking the short cash and the little bit of the moves. And that's always problematic. But there could be a good case for certain stocks out here being shorted. I don't see any reason why that. Right now, though, there's way too many of them, way too short. Question about IBM, do I see anything changing in their future? No. Other than the fact that, again, everybody's way too short some of these stocks, which was, check that out here. I know I have that listed here somewhere. There we go. Let's take a look. Though almost everybody's short a lot. Nobody's really that short IBM. It's got a little bit more in the way of days to cover, which is about 3 days. Again, that bi-monthly data is probably coming out tonight from the exchanges. You'll probably see it on your website of choice, like Yahoo Finance or any of the other ones. They'll probably be putting it on tonight. You may get a little bit of an update, but 3% or 3 days to cover for IBM, not so bad. Right after Christmas, it was almost 5 days, so you're down to 3 days now. The lowest it's got is 2.5 days. I don't see a lot good happening here. It's still going to take a couple of years for them to get to shipping quantum computing technology that will make any difference on their bottom line. If this thing would probably break below the 3x3 on it, this is certainly one that I would consider probably being short if the market does turn down. It has not yet, and not given any signal to do so yet. All we had today was a bear trap of extraordinary magnitude. And what was the name? Jeremiah Johnson bear trap. Grizzly. Grizz. Kodiak bear-sized bear trap. Taking a leg off. Okay. Okay, got a couple more here. Quick look at AMAT and the semiconductor space. You got hanging right on the 3x3 on applied materials, so there's no real sell signal here. Actually, just a if it closes like this, just a bearish piercing that gave up on it during the day. So I don't see a lot in that, other than the fact that you're probably not going lower. Doesn't mean you're going higher. Doesn't really mean you're going lower. The SMHs look to me like they want to get into this 140, I'm going to call it 143, 144 area. And at that point, maybe you get some kind of high coming into the market. That is the gap that goes back to the 24th of February when this gap down and started to move all the way to 96. Again, this is a tough sell to be short, mostly for the fact that these guys are probably the least affected of everyone from being in Taiwan and outside of China or being in South Korea. They're just the way that the plants are made lets them pretty much run on automation for a great deal. And of course, if you're talking about some place that's already masks and clean rooms and everything else, these people have been doing that since the SARS days, making sure nobody ever came in. The countries, of course, of Taiwan and Korea are all worried that China will try to invade them. And so any Chinese people coming in got close scrutiny, probably why they didn't get it near as badly as other people that invited a lot of the Chi-Coms into their country. Okay. We have that. NVIDIA. We'll go back and look at that one because it had kind of broken here. Oh, we'll have to catch that on the other side. You basically filled this gap today. Question is whether you can hold it. 345. Doesn't look like you're going to have that today. But pretty tough. But yeah, got the big break. Huge. If this is real, down to 319 today. We'll be back in a minute.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us, and Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step by step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
Bam!
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. With markets trading with extreme volatility and peaks and troughs everywhere, regardless of what you're looking at in the markets, this is a great time to see the type of analysis Basil Chapman delivers for his subscribers every market day with the Opening Call newsletter. Basil has been analyzing markets, providing his take for subscribers to his trading services since 1984. Every morning, Basil publishes an update for his subscribers, along with weekend and evening updates when warranted. The Opening Call provides traders a daily market overview with regard to the direction of the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, along with specific recommendations, including stops and targets. You also gain instant access to Basil's subscriber webinar archive from earlier this year, a dark cloud cover, and essential market analysis. Ride the Chapman wave today by signing up for the Opening Call newsletter on the front page of TFNN.com under the newsletter tab. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we were talking about NVIDIA down here. You got some decent volume out here today. I think there's a lot of discussion about them having to get rid of inventory going into September. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. It broke a little hard today, but you know what? This has had a huge run. If it can kind of hold up in this area, probably not too bad. But yeah, I have a feeling that it, more than AMD, because AMD is only about, I think it only gets about a fourth of their earnings from the video cards, a little bit less affected by going through these new ramps. But both NVIDIA and AMD will have new video cards at high margins come September. AMD is just off a little bit better off at the current time because it's got processors and it's kicking Intel around the schoolyard a bit. I've never seen Intel in probably 40 years. This discombobulated, a trading word, you can look it up, over how to actually get in, compete at the retail level, at the OEM level. They seem to be rather content just to take the high margin stuff But eventually that will catch up to them. I think that they're playing a very dangerous game. As I said before, I guess we should look at Intel. I have not been wholly unimpressed with the current CEO of Intel. And I don't think much changes. I mean, it's a little up with the rest of the market, but I don't see anything really changing, any kind of life-changing money in Intel soon. Maybe they'll come out with something new, a new product or something, but seems rather stated and kind of dead money for a while. As always, sell when you can, not when you have to. We will see you here tomorrow. Same bat channel, same bat time. 10% less virus.